Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a true internet phenomenon, MrBeast. We're going way beyond the wild stunts and the huge giveaways to really understand the blueprint behind one of the biggest, fastest-growing media empires on the entire planet. So let's dive in.
I want to start with a number, $5 million. That's how much his channels were raking in per hour right after his Big Island video dropped. It's an absolutely insane headline-grabbing figure, but you know what? That isn't the real story here.
The real story is kind of like an iceberg. What we all see is just the tip, that viral video, the crazy stunt. But underneath the surface, there's this colossal machine built on obsession, science, and a whole lot of strategy. So we're going below the surface to deconstruct the man, the method, and the machine that is MrBeast. First up, we have to go right to the core of this whole operation, the mindset of the creator himself. See, to even begin to understand the empire, you first have to get a handle on Jimmy Donaldson's all-consuming obsession.
And listen, this isn't just some exaggeration for the camera. He talks about this urge to create as if it's literally baked into his DNA. For him, this isn't a job. It's a singular focus that has basically defined his entire life. It's the foundation for everything else that follows.
And you can really see how that obsession plays out in his life. I mean, look at this contrast. Unlike your typical CEO, MrBeast literally lives in his studio. He has what he calls a dumbed-down lifestyle with zero personal debt. And what that does is give him the freedom to reinvest every single dollar right back into the business. It's a complete rejection of what we think of as the typical success story.
But you know, that obsession definitely comes at a cost. He describes his life as this constant, relentless cycle. He works until he completely burns out, because if he's not creating, he says he feels unfulfilled and even depressed. It's this high-stakes loop of creativity and exhaustion that just fuels the entire enterprise.
Okay, so how does that intense personal obsession actually translate into content that millions and millions of people watch? Well, let's go to the next layer of the iceberg, the meticulous, almost scientific process of making a viral video.
1,700. Think about that for a second. That's the estimated number of collective hours his team spent just editing a single video. This isn't just about throwing money at a project. It's an extreme, almost fanatical commitment to perfection.
You see, his process is just incredibly iterative. A video isn't just edited once and it's done. No way. It gets re-edited to test out new story angles, to check the flow and the pacing. And if it's not perfect, they just do it again, sometimes 5, 6, even 7 times for one video.
And get this, the whole thing is ruthlessly data-driven. His team actually found that a simple P joke can cause a 5% drop in how long people watch the video. So the rule is, no P jokes. The data always overrules personal preference. Every single tiny detail is tested. This quote right here, this is his core creative philosophy. He truly believes that to avoid making the same old repetitive content, he has to constantly be filling his well of knowledge. And that's why something like taking a pottery class or traveling to a $1 hotel in India isn't a break from work. For him, it is the work. It's a direct input for new, original ideas.
Okay, so we've got an obsessed creator and a scientific creative process. What does an engine like that actually power? Well, that brings us to the third layer of the iceberg, the massive, sprawling business empire that's been built on top of YouTube views.
Think of the main channel as the sun in this solar system. Absolutely everything else orbits around it. Its success is what fuels the growth of his other major ventures. You've got the huge Beast Burger Ghost Kitchen network, his Feastables chocolate and snack brand, his charity, Beast Philanthropy, and of course, a super profitable merch line.
And the scale we're talking about is truly global. He didn't just translate his videos with subtitles. He built an entire company dedicated to dubbing his content into different languages, reaching huge new audiences in Spanish, Portuguese, Japanese, Hindi, and a ton more. This isn't just a YouTube channel, it's a worldwide media distributor.
And if you think he's slowing down, you'd be wrong. The next steps are already happening. He's developing mobile games to tap into his huge gaming audience, launching new Feastables products like cookies, and making a massive push from virtual Beast Burger locations into over 100 physical, real-world restaurants. The empire is still expanding fast.
All right, this brings us to the final and maybe the most critical layer of the iceberg, the foundation that holds this whole thing up. What is the real financial cost of running this massive content machine?
So on the income side, things are pretty wild. He's done brand deals for around $3 million for a single sponsorship. The money coming in is absolutely immense.
But that's just one side of the coin, right? The real question is, what does it cost to keep this whole operation running, month after month? The numbers here are just shocking.
Okay, so he estimates spending $3 to $4 million a month on the main channel alone. Then you add a couple $100,000 for his other channels and a couple million each for Feastables and Beast Burger. You're looking at a monthly burn rate of over $6 million. It's just a colossal reinvestment strategy.
And you know, all this talk about money touches on what he says is his biggest insecurity. It's the criticism that he just throws money at videos to get views. His response is that people don't see the decade he spent just studying YouTube, honing his style, and the thousands of hours spent obsessing over what actually makes a good video. The money amplifies the idea, it doesn't create it.
Ultimately, he feels like the influence he has is a force for good. He's not worried by his reach, he's actually excited by it. He shares these stories of parents telling him their kids are inspired to go volunteer or donate their own money to charity after watching his philanthropy videos. He genuinely believes he's inspiring his audience to care.
So, that's the MrBeast blueprint. A powerful mix of lifelong obsession, scientific creativity, massive scale, and just breathtaking costs. And it leaves us with one final question. Is this relentless, all-or-nothing approach the new model for building a 21st century media empire? Thanks for watching.